Episode 7 of my interactive series, Drawing a Map. This is an interactive series in which my viewers can help make decisions and whatnot. By the way, the vote was an overwhelming yes for global advanced life forms. The advanced life forms started on Pablo. In fact, this is where most of their population is. Pablo was once covered in a mighty jungle, however, things have changed. The advanced life form has evolved inside of this jungle, or at least what used to be a jungle. Lots of fires from wars have pretty much destroyed a good chunk of the jungle. And of course, urbanization has been the real key to destruction of the jungle. In fact, most of it has been replaced by cities and towns. Upwards to 60 to 70% of the jungle has now been destroyed. Upwards to 10,000 species have now gone extinct. Anyways, I didn't get any suggestions, so I'm gonna go ahead and do what I think is best. To be honest with you, I'm pretty much done with the land. In fact, I only have maybe the rest of this episode or maybe one more. After that, I'm going to be moving on to the oceans, so start leaving ocean suggestions down below. Anyways, I'm adding tundra in the north where Pablo used to have glaciers. This is the last blank piece of land, but now it won't be. This piece of land was somewhat recently connected to Berchtesgaden. In fact, when the mountain range was forming, it was a part of it, and that's why there's a big chunk of mountain range on the eastern side. This land has same or similar plants from the mainland. In fact, there's not much of a difference. However, there's one thing that this piece of land has over the main continent. This land has a native plant that is very edible to these advanced life forms. In fact, there's a lot of it. And it doesn't hurt that it has a lot of platinum. Here's the final product. Pablo is now complete. In fact, I've added a lot of details throughout the whole map that you may not even see. There's a pretty good jungle nearby the major river system. However, most of it, like I said, has been destroyed by the giant settlement. North Pablo is covered in tundra. As we move over to Berchtesgaden, notice how there's a few more settlements and other small details added. By the way, I added little circles in the mountain ranges. Those are supposed to be volcanoes, however, I'll make it better in the final draft. This unnamed piece of land has quite a bit of settlement on it. In fact, it's pretty populated. Give me some name suggestions down below, as well as suggestions what I should do with the ocean. Overall, we're getting kind of close to the end of the series, or at least, for making it. Hint, hint, there might be a little bit more to come. That's pretty much it. Goodbye.